Hey guys, this is Anish Verma, and you're listening to the Empower Your Mind for Success podcast, a podcast for anyone who wants to build an entrepreneurial mindset. So today was end of day 3 of the virtual conference, and it was very interesting to see how most of the speakers, and again, like I mentioned yesterday, all these speakers have made it big. They've either made multiple millions of dollars, and some of them have even reached $1 billion in for their companies. But they were all talking about certain common characteristics, right? You need to take action. You need to be a good student. You need to have a belief in yourself. You need to know what your purpose in life is. And they were talking about a lot of these things. And this meeting was going on in a Zoom session, right? So we were all in this Zoom session, and there was a chat window where all the participants were chatting with each other or talking about and discussing what the speaker is talking about. And there was this one guy, who came into the chat discussion talking about that he doesn't feel there's a lot of value in this conference, and how I'm not here to listen to all this motivational, inspirational talk and psychological discussions. I'm here to learn something, and if I want motivation, inspiration, I can go to YouTube. And a lot of people initially told him, I know how you feel, but you really need to see the value that this team is bringing together. And I'm talking about ClickFunnels, right, by Russell Brunson. How much value Russell Brunson is bringing to this conference, and all the speakers who spoke virtually about what we need to focus on, and all these things are very important. And a lot of people pitched in, tried to explain to him, but he was going on and on with his rant that this is not good, this is not right, this is Russell charged us money and he's not delivering, and all that good stuff. And some people got a bit upset, but nobody was abusive. Everybody was respectful, which was very nice. But eventually we all stopped ignoring him. We all started ignoring him is what I meant. I'm not thinking straight, I guess, out of the excitement after the conference. But yeah, we all started ignoring him, and then nobody paid any attention to him. He kept on with his rant ongoing. But everybody was talking about their calling, the purpose, right? And we all need to think back, step back and think a little of what is our calling. There was one of the speakers, not only the husband, the guy has a huge business, his wife has a huge business as well. And they came out of a very rocky relationship, almost were going to divorce each other, were sitting in a therapy session, and that is from when they decided that things need to change, and now they both have their own successful businesses. And he was also talking about that, guys, you need to stop right now of wherever you are to understand what's going on in your mind and heart, and all the emotions and the back and forth you're having with yourself in whatever you're doing, because you need to find your calling, you need to find your true purpose. You need to go back and look in your life, what brought you success in whatever you did, whether it was school, sports, job, relationship, right? You need to go back and think about why you got success, and what brought you there, right? And now you are wondering, why are you not getting success in this next endeavor, whichever endeavor you are on. So you need to go back and look, right? Were you intentional about getting the success that you got? Did you have a why? Did you have a calling? I wanted to be a good student. I want to get a great job. Even though this may not be a calling, but at least it was a purpose, right? That it was a purpose at that time. So we all need to find our calling. And I was thinking about the speakers and what this guy was ranting in the Zoom chat, and all the above things. And I was feeling sorry for this guy, because he was focusing on all the negative. And I've mentioned this in the previous podcast. Your energy goes where focus goes. So if you're focusing on negative, you are going to get negative. Unless you change your perception, you will never see things differently. in the world, right? You will never see things differently. To see the change, you got to change the way you see. Okay, so I was just thinking, this guy, of course, has potential. He wants something. He wants to achieve something. That is why he's on this conference, on this 3-day conference, where he's listening to all these speakers. So he obviously he knows he has to do something in life. But if you don't own your potential, if you don't take responsibility for the energy that you're emitting into the universe, then how can you become successful? Remember, Tony Robbins says this, that there is no success. Success without fulfillment is not success. And you can never achieve fulfillment if you are focusing only on yourself. All successful business owners have provided value to others. You take a look at any successful, sustained business, or even the new businesses around that, unless you provide value, you cannot succeed in your business. Look at Zoom, right? Zoom became a $40 billion company very, very quickly because of the pandemic. Now, whatever has happened in the pandemic is very unfortunate, but they had a technology that allowed working remotely, allowed working virtually, and the company just shot up, right? They were providing value, and that value got scaled crazy when everybody had to work virtually. But coming back to your calling, your purpose, your potential, right? It also reminded me of some of the videos I have seen of Jim Rohn on YouTube. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, Jim Rohn was a very, very popular speaker. I think he was one of the first multi-million-dollar speaker in the world. Jim Rohn as in R-O-H-N, N as in Nancy, right? Look him up. He's a great speaker. Actually, Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor. And Tony Robbins learned everything that he has through from Jim Rohn, right? And Jim Rohn had a talk on YouTube that I remember very clearly, where he's talking about, about seeds, and how, you do farming, right? You take seeds and you throw them on the ground, on the fertile ground, and the seeds pop up into saplings, into plants, and then they become fruit-bearing trees or crops. And that is how you do farming, right? But it all starts with a seed. And then, when you scatter the seeds, some seeds fall on hard ground, right? Some seeds fall on hard ground, and they will never get the right nutrition. They will never be able to get the nutrition through the soil that they were supposed to fall on. So and they will never grow into a sapling. So that will become a dead seed, right? Some of the seeds may fall into thorns and they will never see the day of the light, and they will die, right? And some seeds will fall on fertile soil, and they will grow. That is why there is a yield percentage, right? It's not that you sow 100 seeds and you will get 100 plants out. We all know there is this law of probability there that is in the works, right? So you have to sow more than 100 seeds to get 100 plants, 100 fruit bearing plants, right? Everybody knows that. We all know that. It's simple statistics, right? But if you think about it, right, what Jim Rohn was talking about is the seed is you and your potential, right? When we are all born, we are these small infants, all born with the same potential to become a very large, big fruit-bearing tree. But not all of us grow or become a fruit-bearing tree, because the environment, the soil that we grow up in, is not always conducive to the environment, is not conducive that allows us to grow and become a fruit-bearing tree, right? So I was thinking about that video while this guy was talking about, and I was thinking about, how I end all my podcasts about unlimited potential, right? Unlimited potential doesn't mean you can achieve everything in life. Unlimited potential means that you can achieve something in life, a lot of something in life that you focus on. That something has to be focused on. You've got to be laser focused in achieving your potential, right? You cannot have the shiny object syndrome bouncing from one business idea to the other. You've got to be laser focused. But before you do that, you got to own it. You need to realize that you have potential. You need to realize anything that is not allowing you to be successful is you yourself, the person standing in front of the mirror. It is your potential, it is your belief systems, it is your decision making framework, it is your self-image that is holding you back. Nothing else, right? So I was thinking about this and I was wondering, right? I mean, it is so true, right? Anything that has to grow first has to go down, like a seed in a soil. Like a mind has to submerge itself into an environment that is positive and conducive for it to grow. You have to do research, you have to study, you have to become a great student. You will fail and then you will grow a little bit. You will take 3 steps forward, you will take 2 steps back. That is how the journey of life is. That is how the journey in a business is, right? So that is what happens. But unless you have a calling, unless you have a purpose, you will not have the energy to take the next 3 steps forward after you have taken the first 3 steps and gone back 2 steps, because your progress is so small, you cannot see it, right? The same thing happens with a seed, right? When a seed is inside the soil, about 12 inches of feet inside the soil, we do not see what is going on with the seed unless something pops out of the ground. But before we see something pops out of the ground, there is some activity going on under the soil, right? Because the seed is about 6 inches to 12 inches deep. So by the time you see something, a lot of stuff is going on. There's growth going on that you do not see. The same thing applies in a business. When you are investing and working hard, investing in yourself, when you're working hard in a business, there is growth happening. You just don't see the physical growth in terms of money, but the growth is happening within you. You know, that is why I always say, and I've heard this from my mentors, right? Only 2 things happen in a business environment. Either you grow or your business grows, right? So for you to realize your potential, you have to find your calling, guys. We all do, right? I have found my calling. My calling is to share my enthusiasm, share my knowledge about how beliefs, subconscious mind work at a scientific level, right? At a biological level. And anything and everything that the way we think we created has not been created by us. It was given to us. Our decision framework was given to us by our environment when we are growing up. Now we have the ability to change it via repetition, to reprogram our paradigm, to reprogram our subconscious mind, to reprogram our mental program in our minds that run our entire life. We know that we can change that, and that is what I want to share. I want to make other people believe in themselves again. I have seen this, which is pretty unfortunate, that a lot of people don't have enough self-image, in a pretty high self-image. They don't have a good self-esteem, because we are living in this social media world where we are looking for the likes and the thumbs ups and the hearts on a piece of screen, on a glass screen, right? But that is not what life is all about. Life is about, success is about how many other lives you have impacted. Again, you know, in this conference, every rich person, I should say every successful person, was saying the same thing. It's not about money. It is about how many people you have impacted to make them financially free. How many people you have served to become financially free or spiritually free or great in the relationship. Whatever you are trying to help people with, right? Don't get me wrong, guys. Money is very important. Very important. The more money you make, the more people you will be able to help. Period. There is no 2 questions about it, right? But you cannot make money alone just by focusing on yourself. You have to focus on providing value to others, and that is how you will make money. Money is made when you provide value to others, not the other way around. Okay? So something for all of us to think about. But the bottom line is, you have to find your calling. You have to find that seed of potential in you that you can put in the right environment so that it can grow. right? It can grow and achieve whatever you want to achieve. See, if you look at all living organisms, right? Animals versus human animals. I mean, we are also animals, but if you look at humans and some of the other animals, right? We are not the strongest of the animal, right? We can easily be killed by a lion or a tiger or a hyena or even bit by a snake and we could die, or bit by a spider, a wrong poisonous spider, and we could die, right? A spider which is so many times smaller than us. So what makes humans such a superior species? It's our ability to think, right? Our thoughts, our mind is what makes us a superior race. But at the same time, it is also one of the negatives that we have in ourselves. Because of the thoughts, because of the free will we have, we also are capable of making our own choices. And if we make the wrong choices, we will end up on the wrong destination. And how do you know whether it's a right choice or a wrong choice? You do not know. That is why you need a mentor to help you. You do not know it all the time, right? That is why you need a mentor. You might figure it out and you will get there, but wouldn't you rather get to your destination sooner and help a lot of people along the way? And when you get to your destination, you're helping many, many more people, right? That is why you need a mentor to help you, guide you to get to your destination faster. Especially in the business world, especially in the entrepreneurial world, it's very, very important. So something to think about, guys, and it was kind of reinforced in me, right? My calling, my purpose, and it has taken me a long time, 42 years to find my calling. It doesn't have to be the same for you. We all have our own journeys. One of the speakers in this conference was a 19-year-old kid who's already making more than $1 million in his business, 19 years old. And his calling is to help poor kids to get food, to get shelter, to get the right education. That is what he's focused on. 19 years old. He found his calling much, much way earlier than I did. And perhaps maybe some of you are going to find your calling, right? Some of us never find our calling. But finding our calling is a choice. You have to be intentional with your life. That is the only way you're going to find your calling. Many speakers spoke about reading. Many speakers spoke about how many ideas they got when they read. How many of them found their calling because they read books, right? So I believe we have the right tools. I believe we have the right environment. We are right now in a situation that I don't believe that anything more worse can happen from now. We are at the rock bottom in terms of the pandemic we are in and the jobs people have lost and the depression that people are in. I really hope and I believe that we are at the bottom, right? From here on, you're only going to move onwards and upwards. But it is a choice that you have to make. Do you see this as a challenge or the worst thing that has happened to you? Or do you see this as an opportunity that you can take advantage of, transform yourself from version 1.0 to 2.0 and move onward and upwards so that you are within 12 months, you are at a much better place than you were before. Maybe within 12 months, you are already making multiple thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million. It's possible, it can be done, but you have to make the choice of immersing yourself in the right environment, getting the help from the right people who can teach you, show you the way, and you can make progress. Right? Remember this seed story. Look up Jim Rohn on YouTube and you will find this audio that I'm talking about. But it's very, very important. We all have that seed of greatness in us. We do. I really believe in it. I really do. Remember, you have unlimited potential. Own it. Be intentional about it. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, take care.